911 emergency.
Hi, I need help.
Hello?
I need help.
Okay, where are you located? I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't hear you. Are you able to tell me where you're located?
No.
Are you at a...
553 Sheldon Avenue Southeast. Please hurry now.
Okay, I got Sheldon. What's the number?
553. Hurry, please hurry up.
553 Sheldon. Okay, can you tell me what's going on there?
Can you just hurry up, please? I'm gonna die. It's me. You're trying to kill me. You already killed my name. You need to hurry up, please.
Okay, ma'am, I'll start the police that way. Can you tell me what your name is?
Keyonna.
Who's the person who's causing trouble there?
Please hurry up, man. He's about to kill me. Please hurry up.
Okay, I've got a call entered, so we're going to get the police started that way, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Can you tell me what room of the house you're in?
The 911 operator could barely hear the terrified whispers coming through the line. My aunt's boyfriend just shot her and I'm hiding. I'm next. It was 10:30 a.m. on March 13th, 2019, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The young woman's voice trembled with fear as she begged for help from her hiding place at 553 Sheldon Southeast. Minutes later, 3 police officers arrived, knocking repeatedly on doors and peering through windows. After finding no response and all doors locked, they left the scene, believing there was no immediate danger. Within hours, they would return to discover a horrific double homicide, one that could have been prevented. If you're fascinated by true crime cases that expose critical failures in our systems, hit subscribe now and ring that notification bell. This is a haunting story of 25-year-old Keyonna Griffin, whose life ended because she discovered a terrible secret. When police returned to 553 Sheldon Southeast later that day, responding to another frantic call, this time from Keyonna's brother.
Keyonna! 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 Keyonna!
911 emergency.
Come to 553 Sheldon. My sister's not moving.
What's the address?
553 Sheldon. There's blood everywhere. My sister's not moving.
Okay, stand on line. You said shirt?
Sheldon, 553 Sheldon Southeast. It's a yellow house. Please, hurry up.
553 Sheldon Avenue Southeast, so correct?
Yes, please.
He says she's not breathing.
I don't know. She's not moving. I'm holding her head, please.
Okay, all righty. Stand on line with me. I do have fire and police on the way. Stand on line with me. We're going to connect over to medical, okay?
Please, please.
And you said that there's blood everywhere?
There's blood everywhere.
Did she cut herself or try to commit suicide?
I don't know. She's doing her job and she's patient.
Grand Rapids here. I pre-alerted already for 553 Sheldon Avenue Southeast.
553 Sheldon Southeast?
Yes. Pre-alert already for a female there not breathing. Caller says she sees a lot of blood.
All right. Caller?
Oh, please.
Ma'am?
Oh, my Lord.
Ma'am, I have help on the way. I have a few questions. Tell me exactly what happened.
Come on, is she back here? Oh, my God.
Ma'am, I need to know what's going on there. Tell me what's going on.
Not a man with her brother. I don't know. She's naked. I usually stop over here before I go to work to my granny's house, and her friend was over here outside and came in, and I didn't even come upstairs. Her friend did, and she here naked. Blood everywhere, please.
Okay.
Keyonna!
All right. How old is she?
She's 20. She born in 94.
Okay.
94. She's about 29.
All right. I need
She's not moving, Keyonna!
Ma'am, they're on the way. I need to ask you, is she breathing? Ma'am, is she breathing?
I'm not a ma'am. No, I'm her brother.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Please come on.
They're on their way there. I need to know what's breathing. Med 1.
No, it looked like her arm broke.
Med 1 acknowledged, 911 on.
Okay.
Well, you can stay on.
I'm sorry, what was
Oh, my
You want to stay on.
that? Okay. Where is she bleeding from?
I don't know. It just looks
Somebody stabbed her. Right here.
yeah, somebody stabbed her or something.
She's been stabbed?
Yes, it's blood everywhere. My little sister is naked. Please come on.
Okay. Sir, they're on the way, okay?
All right.
Is she breathing?
No, I don't know. I don't know how to tell. She's not moving. I'm yelling at her name. She's not moving.
Okay.
Please.
All right, they're on the way there. I need you to tell me now every time she takes a breath in. I need to know if she's breathing.
Oh, no, she's not moving. It's like
She's not
blood
breathing.
everywhere. Like she's been bleeding for a long time.
Okay. All right, we're going to stage on this one as well.
Okay.
Please, come on.
They found a scene of unimaginable violence. Keyonna Griffin and her Aunt Joletta Baber lay dead in separate rooms, both with multiple gunshot wounds. The timeline was devastating. Just hours earlier, Keyonna had called for help while hiding from the killer. Now she was gone. What turned this ordinary family home into a crime scene? Who was the man Keyonna feared in her final moments? And how did he manage to disappear without a trace? Keyonna Griffin had just celebrated her 25th birthday on March 8, 2019, 5 days before her murder. Friends describe her as energetic and warm-hearted, someone whose smile could light up a room. Though much of her personal life remains private, those who knew her speak of her loyalty and deep connection to her family. This strong family bond brought Keyonna to live with her grandmother, 64-year-old Jacqueline Baber Bay, and her aunt, 47-year-old Joletta Baber. The three women shared a comfortable home on Sheldon Avenue, creating a tight-knit household where family was everything. If you're finding this story compelling, take a second to hit the like button. It helps more people discover this important case. But there was a fourth person living in the house, someone who made Keyonna increasingly uncomfortable. He went simply by Jay, a 45-year-old man who had become Joletta's boyfriend. Jay was notably reserved, keeping to himself and rarely engaging with the family. He had no job, no phone, and curiously, no social media presence whatsoever. The family knew almost nothing about him beyond what Joletta had shared, which wasn't much. According to Joletta, they had met at a public library where they formed an immediate connection. For a woman who had never had a boyfriend before, the family was initially happy that quiet. Reserved Joletta had found someone who seemed to match her personality. To most of the family, Jay seemed harmless enough. He and Joletta mostly stayed in her bedroom, away from others. The family's knowledge of his past was limited to a vague understanding that he'd served jail time for unpaid child support. Nothing that raised serious concern. But Keyonna saw something different. Where others saw a quiet, shy man who matched her aunt's temperament, Keyonna sensed darkness. Having spent significant time around both Joletta and Jay, she recognized that their personalities weren't actually similar at all. Where her aunt was genuinely kind-hearted and gentle, Jay's quietness seemed to mask something more disturbing. Rather than causing family discord by voicing her concerns, Keyonna had begun making plans to move out. But before she could leave, she would discover something that would cost her her life. The morning of March 13th began normally. Jacqueline Baber Bay left the house around 8 a.m., later reporting that both Joletta and Keyonna had been fine when she departed. Nothing seemed unusual or concerning. What happened in the next 2 hours would destroy multiple lives forever. While alone in the house with Joletta and Jay, Keyonna witnessed something horrific. Jay murdering her aunt. In a state of panic, she hid and managed to make a desperate call to 911 at approximately 10:30 a.m. In whispered tones, she told the operator that her aunt had been killed and she feared she would be next. The urgency in her voice was clear. She needed immediate help. 7 minutes after that call disconnected, 3 police officers arrived at the house. Their body cameras documented what happened next. One officer knocked 3 times with his fist, then once more with the door knocker. No response came from inside. He tried the doorknob but found it locked. The officers asked dispatchers to call the woman back, but there was no answer, an ominous sign given Keyonna's desperate situation. A second officer circled to a side door, which was also locked. Through a window, he could see only an empty dining room. The third officer checked the back of the house, but found nothing noteworthy. If you're wondering why this case matters and how similar situations might be prevented, leave a comment below. I read every single one. At this point, one officer suggested this might be a 1096 situation, code for a potential mental health issue with the caller. After one final attempt at the front door with no response, the officers left the scene. They had been at the house for just 3 minutes and 42 seconds. 2 hours later, everything changed. Police received another 911 call from the same address, this time from Sanford Cummings' Keyonna's brother. He had stopped by on his way to work and discovered a scene that would haunt him forever. His sister, lying unresponsive in a pool of blood. Through tears, he told the operator his sister wasn't moving. He initially thought she had been stabbed and that her hands appeared broken, but the truth would prove even more brutal. When officers entered the home this time, they found Keyonna's body in an upstairs bedroom with 5 gunshot wounds. As they continued searching the house, they discovered Charletta Babber's body in another bedroom. Unlike Keyonna, who had clearly been aware of the danger, Charletta had been caught completely off guard. Charletta lay under a blanket, shot in the back of the head while watching something on her iPad. The device was still playing when police found her, earbuds still in her ears. She never had a chance to defend herself. 2 women were dead, and Jay was nowhere to be found. The hunt for a killer had begun. As investigators processed the crime scene, they expanded their search to the surrounding area. Hours after the bodies were discovered, a detective captain made a crucial find in an alley northwest of the house. A box of ammunition with 6 bullets missing, alongside a white nylon bag containing a 9mm high-point pistol. Ballistic tests later confirmed this was a murder weapon, matching the casings found at the crime scene. But without the shooter, they needed more evidence to build their case. The search at Charletta's room yielded a critical discovery. In her dresser, investigators found an empty high-point gun box containing men's clothing. Inside this box was both the gun serial number and the original purchase permit with the buyer's name, a woman. Further investigation revealed 2 important facts. The gun had been reported stolen in July 2017 by this same woman, and she had also filed harassment complaints the following year against her ex-boyfriend, a man she knew as Jay. If you're following the investigation so far, hit the like button and subscribe for more in-depth true crime analysis. The woman's reports described Jay as controlling and potentially abusive. The timeline of her relationship with Jay coincided perfectly with when the gun disappeared. This connection instantly made Jay the primary suspect in the double homicide. But finding him would prove extraordinarily difficult. For police to continue their investigation effectively, they needed to know who Jay really was. The search at Charletta's closet revealed the truth. On the top shelf, officers found an orange Nike shoebox containing old jail mail letters addressed to Charletta. These letters were from a man named Daryl Brown, who signed them simply as Jay. In one letter, he explicitly stated, "My name is Daryl, but I go by Jay." When investigators ran his name through their system, what they discovered was shocking and painted a clear picture of why Keyonna had to die. Daryl Brown had an extensive criminal record in both Ottawa and Kent counties. His history included felony assault and domestic violence charges that revealed a pattern of extreme brutality. In 2005, he had been charged for a horrifying attack on a previous girlfriend. Court records showed he had bound the woman with cords, kicked her in the face, urinated on her, gagged her, and doused her with lighter fluid. Most disturbing of all, he committed these acts while the woman's 4 children, including one of his own, were asleep upstairs. The victim had escaped the next morning by boarding her daughter's school bus and asking the driver to leave immediately. She reported that Daryl had 2 guns during the assault and had threatened to kill her. In an unexpected turn, the victim later asked to drop the charges, believing Daryl needed psychiatric help rather than incarceration. The state continued prosecution, but without a cooperative witness, they couldn't bring the felony assault case to trial. Daryl accepted a plea deal for misdemeanor domestic violence. With a mugshot of Daryl Brown, multiple people, including neighbors, confirmed he was indeed the man calling himself Jay. As investigators pieced together his background, they uncovered even more troubling incidents. Years before the murders, Reverend Robert Dean of New Life Church of God in Christ had once offered Darrell shelter after finding him searching through dumpsters behind the church. Initially, the pastor saw no problems with Darrell, who appeared helpful and kind. This perception changed dramatically about 3 months later, when a woman Darrell was dating sought the pastor's advice about his possessiveness. During their meeting, Darrell unexpectedly burst into the office and attempted to attack her, simply because she had spoken to another man. Only the pastor's intervention prevented violence. Darrell was immediately banned from the church. If you're finding this case analysis valuable, please take a moment to subscribe and share this video with others interested in true crime. With Darrell's identity confirmed and his violent history exposed, police intensified their manhunt, but he had already gained a 3-hour head start in his escape. In the days following the murders, police reviewed surveillance footage from around the area. Multiple videos captured Darrell's movements that afternoon, revealing something peculiar. Just as detectives were at the crime scene, Darrell was on foot about a mile north, making an unusual stop. Security cameras showed him entering the Grand Rapids Children's Museum at 3:24 p.m. on the day of the murders. Footage captured Darrell approaching the front desk, demanding entry and claiming he knew someone inside. Staff refused to let him wander the museum. After 12 minutes of failed attempts to gain access, he left at 3:36 p.m. Approximately 20 minutes later, another business's surveillance camera recorded Darrell walking in a different area of the city. Police later discovered that one of his former girlfriends had dropped him off in that neighborhood. This was the last confirmed sighting of Darrell Brown. Initially considered only a person of interest, Darrell was charged with receiving and concealing a stolen firearm. Unable to locate him, authorities expanded their search nationwide. The court ordered that he could be arrested anywhere in the country and extradited to Grand Rapids. A $2,500 reward was offered for information leading to his capture. Yet Darrell Brown vanished completely. He disappeared without using a vehicle, without his name appearing on any documentation, without any digital footprint. Over the following months, there were potential sightings in multiple states, but nothing conclusive materialized. Authorities speculated he might be using an alias, possibly receiving assistance from someone unaware of his true identity, or worse, someone who knew exactly who he was and what he had done. Suspicions grew that family members or associates might be helping conceal his whereabouts. For Keyonna and Troletta's family, there was no peace, only growing frustration and grief. They openly criticized law enforcement's handling of the case, particularly the initial police response. Why hadn't the officers entered the house after Keyonna's 911 call? Why hadn't the dispatcher treated the situation with greater urgency? The family questioned whether the response might have differed in another neighborhood, or if Keyonna had been of a different race.
They didn't care. They was here a minimum of 3 minutes, and they went on about their happy way. And then at 1 o'clock or so, you get another call
and
to the same house.
And the same
and you
officers
come here, now
back.
you got to bring my family out in body bags because you didn't care at 10 o'clock.
You yeah. Someone is trying to kill me, and you won't knock down the door.
You don't know.
She could have been tied up in this house.
Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker defended the police actions, stating that officers had followed protocol and lacked legal justification to force entry into the house. As you follow this story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth true crime coverage. The family's tragedy was far from over. In July 2020 at 9:02 a.m., emergency services rushed once again to 553 Sheldon Avenue. A devastating fire had engulfed the house, claiming 2 more lives. 65-year-old Jacqueline Baberbay and her 5-year-old grandson, Emir Ann Cummings. Both victims were found in a second-floor bedroom at the back of the house, having died from smoke inhalation. Investigation revealed the fire had started accidentally. Candles lit for a vigil honoring Keyonna and Troletta had been left unattended. This tragic extension of the case demonstrated how the ripple effects of violence continue long after the initial crime. Today, Darrell Brown remains at large. The U.S. Marshals Service has increased the reward to $25,000 for information leading to his arrest and conviction. He is known to use multiple aliases, including J.J. Robinson, Michael Richardson, and Marcus Wright. Authorities describe him as 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing 180 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. His ability to remain undetected for so long suggests either exceptional evasion skills or ongoing assistance from others. What makes this case particularly heartbreaking is how preventable these deaths may have been. Had Keyonna's warnings about Jay been taken more seriously by family members, had police forced entry after her 911 call, or had the criminal justice system dealt more effectively with Daryl's previous violent behavior, 2 lives might have been saved. This case raises critical questions about domestic violence, how we respond to our intuitions about dangerous individuals, and the protocols law enforcement follows when responding to emergency calls. What could Keyonna have possibly discovered that made her such a threat to Daryl? The most likely explanation is that she had uncovered his true identity and violent history, information that would have exposed him to Truletta and potentially ended their relationship. For a controlling abuser with Daryl's background, this represented an unacceptable loss of power. The tragic irony is that Keyonna had been planning to move out rather than confront her aunt about her concerns. Had circumstances been slightly different, she might have escaped before discovering the truth that cost her life. What happened at 553 Sheldon Southeast serves as a stark reminder that the most dangerous time for victims of domestic violence is often when they try to leave or when an abuser's control is threatened. Truletta may never have suspected the danger she was in, but Keyonna recognized something wasn't right, an intuition that proved tragically accurate. If you found this analysis informative, please support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. As this case remains open, authorities continue to seek public assistance in locating Daryl Brown. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is urged to contact the Grand Rapids Police Department or the U.S. Marshals Service. Your information could be crucial in bringing justice to Keyonna and Truletta. Their story reminds us to take threats seriously, to listen when someone expresses concern about a potentially dangerous individual, and to recognize that sometimes the quietest people harbor the darkest secrets. The home where these murders occurred, which later claimed 2 more lives in the fire, no longer stands. But the memory of what happened there continues to haunt the community and the family left behind. Keyonna Griffin's last act was one of incredible courage, reaching out for help while knowing her life was in danger. Her story deserves to be remembered not just as a victim of violence, but as someone who tried to protect herself when she discovered a deadly truth. As we conclude this case, I want to ask, have you ever had an intuition about someone that others dismissed? How do you think we should balance giving people the benefit of the doubt with trusting our instincts about potential danger? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video informative, please subscribe for more true crime analysis. Your support helps bring attention to cases like Keyonna's that deserve to be remembered.